Hello everybody, this is Feeks, and we are in our test world here. So kind of long overdue, but yeah, that door that you saw there in the beginning was a door that I made some time ago, inspired by Fallout. Actually, before the Fallout TV series even came out. And I went through and made it. That's kind of my take on it. And I posted it a couple years ago, and then I never made a tutorial on it. So that's what I'm going to try and do today. I'm going to try and see if I remember how I built it and go through and, walk you guys through it. Because it's basically just 3 flying machines, if I recall. And yeah, this is basically the exterior of it. So this is everything in its entirety. It's not as crazy as it looks. I remember it being relatively simple. And yeah, like I said, it's just basically 3 flying machines. You got the floor that comes up out of the ground after the door moves out of the way, the door itself, and then the wall that comes down after the door moves out of the way. So basically the door moves out of the way, and then you need a wall to come down and the floor to come up to appear that, everything is there, solid all the way through. So if we go over here, these are actually, you can still see like kind of the evolution of how I develop. So I do know that there's going to be some people out there that don't really care about how this thing works. They just want to know how to build it. So that's what we're going to kind of do. So first thing we'll do is we'll start at the bottom of the door and we'll just work our way up. So we're going to put an observer down. And you want this observer, the redstone output, to be facing the way you want the door to close or open, basically. So imagine the door is here, and you want the door to go that direction. You would want the redstone output to be facing that direction when we start building this door. All right. So we're gonna once we get that observer down, we're gonna put a sticky piston, and then we're gonna start with either slime or honey blocks. I'm gonna start with slime. We're gonna do 2 blocks. And then we're going to go on the opposite side and then do a observer, sticky piston, and these have to be sticky pistons, and then 2 slime blocks. All right. And at the back of the slime block, we're going to want to put an obsidian block just like that. That's what's going to stop the door from moving when it closes. All right. Now we're going to go up and do 3 blocks. This is the base of the door. So you'll put whatever the door material you want on this side. This will be the bottom of it. All right. So if you see that right there, that's what this section right here is. All right. Now we're going to go just above that. We're going to have to alternate 2 honey blocks. And we're going to place down 5 blocks. So the 3 on top, 1 on this side, 1 on this side. And then you're going to go through and kind of decorate your door. So I'm just going with the same design. There's that door. And then we're going to go observer, sticky piston, 2 honey blocks. And then go on the other side. Observer, sticky piston, just like that. And then we'll put an obsidian block right there. All right, now we're just going to basically repeat this 2 more times. So observer, sticky piston. Now we need slime blocks. We're going to build our door. Then observer, sticky piston, slime blocks, and then obsidian to stop the door. And then one more time for the slayer. And then we're going to go honey blocks. So we have to change the honey blocks. Kind of finish up our door here. Just like that. Observer, sticky piston, and then honey blocks, and then an obsidian to stop the door. Just like that. So we're almost done. So now we're going to basically kind of do the same thing that we did at the bottom there. We're going to do 3 in the center. That will kind of cap off the door to make it kind of look like a wheel. And then we're going to want to do 2 more on top of that. And we'll do observer, sticky piston, 2 more slime blocks, observer, sticky piston, and then an obsidian block over here to stop the door. All right. So that is that side of the door. Now we wanted this 2 blocks wide, so we're basically going to repeat that. And just so we don't have any accidents, I'm going to go through and put some temporary obsidian blocks right here. That way, if any of these observers get triggered by accident, the machine won't move and get messed up or anything. All right. And now we're going to go through and just basically mirror this for the opposite side. So we can just kind of piggyback off of this and just make it exactly the same. So sticky piston, but these are going to have to be honey blocks, just like that. And then we're going to need observer, observer this way, sticky piston, all right, and then honey blocks, and then 3 honey blocks on the bottom, right? So you can see it kind of matches up there. And then we can do our 3 here. There's that. And then we'll go through and put obsidian to keep these from moving. Just like that. And then we're just going to kind of repeat that. So we need slime blocks. There's the 5 slime blocks just like that. Build our door. Alright. And then we're going to want, we can kind of mirror it. So obsidian or observer, piston, 2 slime blocks, and obsidian, and then observer, piston, just like that. And then here we go again. We're going to start honey blocks, just like that, and build our door. And then kind of repeat our pattern here. So observer, whoop, fell off, piston, honey blocks, observer, piston, put obsidian to keep the machine from moving, just like that. And then we're just going to alternate back. So sticky piston or slime blocks, decorate our door. Then we'll do observer, sticky piston, slime blocks, another piece of obsidian, observer, sticky piston. There we are. And now we just got to finish the top of the door. So we'll start with our 3 blocks, cap off the door here. And then we're going to do 2 more blocks above and build our flying machine. So that guy there, honey blocks, observer, sticky piston, and basically the door is done. Everything will function properly. We're not going to remove these obsidian right here, the ones at the end of these blocks. This is what's going to stop at the door. So this should be how your door looks closed. All right. These on this side are kind of temporary blocks. So we will want them removed in order to have the door fly open. Okay, yeah, so the full door will need to move 11 blocks. So we're going to put some temporary stop blocks, 11 blocks from this position. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'll move 11. And then 12 will be where it stops. So we'll delete all those. And we basically just repeat that. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then on the 12th is where it will stop. And And we're just going to repeat that on every single one of these. So we could just go up 3 and back over 1. And then there's a 2-block gap in between these. So 1, 2, and 3 will be our stop block. All right. And then we just basically need to mirror that. There we are. So now when this is activated, it'll stop there. All right, easy enough. Now we do need to activate all these at the same exact time. So for right now, we're just going to use redstone lamps. Just like that. Nice, easy. And they'll all activate at the exact same time. All right, so now the only thing is we're going to want to not use any repeaters or anything because that will throw off the timer. So we'll kind of just go out from here. And then redstone can travel vertically up slabs. Oops, not that. See. Right there. So redstone could travel vertically up slabs. So that makes this nice and easy. So we'll just kind of go up just like that. All right. And then, so we'll go here, 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 here. And kind of do the same thing there. Just like that. All right. And then we can delete all these temporary blocks. And we're going to place down redstone on that. So we'll want to have an activated button probably in the center here. And then as long as we don't go over 15 blocks, we should be fine. Actually, we could probably just do just like that. So there's that one. And then we'll do the same thing here. And then just to test everything, we'll get a button. All right, and everything should activate at one time, and it does. All right, so now we can go over here and we can remove these temporary blocks. And now when we activate this button, everything will move at once. There it is. And that's the door opening. All right. Now, the big thing is getting these all observers to activate at the same time. So in our example, we used pistons. That's not really going to work too well here because pistons can be moved when they're closed and they can only extend 1 block. So what we'll do is we're going to kind of block all these off right on the edge of each of these flying machines. That way it cannot move, right? When it's all interacted with, it's not going to fly off and mess up the machine. But what we're going to want to use is actually either droppers or dispensers, right? And we're just going to put one at each one of these, just like that. Okay. And now we just need each one of those to be triggered at the exact same time. So the same concept as those lamps were. All right. And if we can look over here, just for example, that's exactly what I did. All right. The only trick is the redstone's going to have to be sitting on obsidian or an immovable block. All right. Nice and easy. And what's nice about this only being 3 high is if we power these two right here, that'll send redstone into those two, the ones above it and the ones below it. So I only need to power those two there for that one. And then we'll need to do the same thing with these, but because those are using repeaters, we'll have to use repeaters and everything else to keep them all on the same timing. So we'll just do 2 repeaters and then go down below and do 2 repeaters. And now it's just a matter of getting them all wired up the exact same. So when we push a button, they'll all be triggered at the exact same time to close the door. So start simple, just redstone there. And then we can easily just do the same thing we did earlier with the redstone or with the slabs, because redstone can travel up slabs. They cannot travel down, but it can travel up. Give me the right guy there. All right. So we can do one of these numbers. All right. And we can just basically go here and just kind of go up. All right. So here's one issue is if I put one here, it won't travel up because that's a full block blocking it. So what we'll actually do is just do one here. One up that way. Then go that way, and then it should go up the block. So let's delete all these temporary blocks here. And as long as we didn't go over 15 blocks, it should trigger everything at the same time. So we got... Oop, I don't know where I put that right there. Alright, so let's grab a button. And we should see all these activate. So we'll do a quick test. Everything activated. So now if we remove these temporary blocks, and make sure you remove all of them, otherwise it will jam the machine, and then you have to start basically all over. We'll push this button, and everything should activate at the same time and close the door. Just like that. And now the door is completely built. It'll open and close. And now we just need to build the rest of the mechanisms. So the door is finished. We're just going to need to build the floor that rises up and then the wall that comes down to block it in. So not too bad. But yeah, that is the door. Hopefully it was pretty easy to follow along with and build. It's really not all that complicated. It's just a bunch of machines put together, flying machines put together. If it wasn't easy to follow, let me know and maybe I can explain it a little better. But yeah, I think that's what's gonna do it for this one. Next time we're going to build the floor here. Then right after that we'll build the drop down wall. And then we will go through and tie it all together and show you how it all works as one, so you guys can have an opening and closing door. That's pretty neat. I think it's pretty cool. But anyway, that's going to do it for this one. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are, if you guys need help with anything, or we'll just try and get the next one out as soon as we can. So, take it easy, guys.